Hi class, hope you had a wonderful weekend. This week we are going to be learning about and reviewing verbs, subjects, and objects. So take notes if you want to, or just keep this document nearby so that you have a good idea of what each one is in a sentence. As a reminder, the verb is the action or existence that is being expressed by the subject. The subject is the noun or pronoun that is expressing the action or existence. The object of a sentence is the person or thing that receives the action of the verb. So it is the who or the what the subject does something to. So with that object, there's also a prepositional phrase object. The object of a prepositional phrase is the who or what that follows a preposition. So the first thing we're going to want to do when identifying the verb, subject, and object of a sentence is to identify the verb, because once we can identify the action or existence that is being done, it's going to be a lot easier to figure out the who or the what that is expressing that verb. So when we look at this sentence that I provided for us, she poured cold, crackling sodas for both of us, comma, and we sat on the couch. I noticed that we have two independent clauses here. So we're going to have to find a verb, subject, and an object for two different independent clauses. So when I look for the verb of the first independent clause, I need to ask myself, what is the action or the existence that is being expressed? All right. So I see that poured is a verb. I know poured is a verb because it's something that you can do. And then I can ask myself, who or what is doing the action pour? And that is she. All right. So we know that she is the subject of the first independent clause because that is who or what is expressing the action pour. All right. So then it gets a little trickier. We need to figure out the who or what that is receiving the action pour. All right. I know it's not cold and I know it's not crackling because both those two words are adjectives that are helping to describe the Coca-Colas. Okay. So Coca-Colas in this situation are what is receiving the action pour. All right, but we're not done yet because right after we have a prepositional phrase, two of them. We have for both of us. Okay, so we have the preposition for and the pronoun both. So the pronoun both is also an object because it's following the preposition for, and the pronoun us is also an object of a prepositional phrase because it's following the preposition of. So to complete my thoughts then, I'm going to fully type it out. The verb of the first independent clause is poured, because that is because poured is the action that she is doing. She poured Coca-Colas. So the first independent clause is she because she is the one who is pouring Coca-Cola. The objects of the first independent clause are Coca-Colas, because Coke is receiving the action poured, and both slash us, because they are following prepositions. Now we look into the second independent clause. And we know it's an independent clause because we have a comma and a coordinating conjunction connecting two clauses. So the second independent clause, we have, and we sat on the couch. All right, so the first thing that we, again, want to do is find the verb, because once we find the verb, it'll be extremely easy to find the who or the what that is expressing the verb. All right, and I see that sat is something that you can do. It's an action. Sat is the verb of the second independent clause. All right, so now we can ask ourselves, who or what is expressing the action sat? And in this case, it is the pronoun we. All right, so they sat. So now we need to figure out who or what is receiving the action sat. And in this instance, it is the couch. The couch is receiving the action sat. And this is also an interesting one because it is The couch is also following the preposition on. So it's an object of a prepositional phrase and it's an object that is receiving the action sat. So I'm going to do the same thing. The verb of the second independent clause is sat because sat is the action that the pronoun we is expressing. The subject of the independent clause is we because we is the pronoun that is performing the action sat. And then the object of the second independent clause is couch because couch is the thing that receives the action sat. Okay, so because couch is receiving the action sat, it is where they sat. So this was just a quick review. We will continue to practice this throughout the week, but please make sure that you watch this so you have a good baseline understanding of where to start.